It's so fun to watch other people's evening routines and see what they do in their own life, and even more so for teachers. I love watching a good evening routine as a teacher. And if you were here last week, I did my morning routine as a teacher who also owns a business. So come along with me today as I go through my evening routine with you after school. So I love leaving school at school. I'm on year 11 of teaching, so I know you might be thinking, well, that's easy for you to say, but I really do. Like, I leave whatever needs to be done for the next day. I make sure I'm ready to go. I'm not ill prepared, but I do like to leave relatively close on time and just wipe away the day and move on to the next part of my day. I always have things to look forward to, and one of those things is getting home to my dog because I need to let him out. But before I do that, I have a guilty pleasure habit of a lot of times going to grab a coffee and treating myself to that after school because I don't usually go before school to get coffee. It's something that I can look forward to. It's kind of a habit that I actually started during COVID because I was tutoring online and in person while I was teaching online from home. So I would also go to people's houses too, and on my way there I would get a coffee. It was like how I would keep myself going. So part of the reason I love having a Teachers Pay Teacher store and a teacher business is that I can get a coffee every day and not flinch about it. So I'll admit that you'll see me heading to a coffee shop, most likely Starbucks, almost every single day, but it's something to look forward to. And if I learned anything from my retired teacher dad, which I've learned a ton from him, having something to look forward to in your lunch or after school is the best thing you can do for yourself. Getting a coffee after school, definitely a guilty pleasure, but I can totally justify it in my mind, right? Can't we do that every time? But seriously, having a TPT store and a business in general just really helps with that, so you don't have to feel the guilt of getting a simple life's pleasure after school every day. Okay, once I get home, I let my adorable Pomeranian Whoopi out. If you follow me on social, you see him all the time in stories. The spelling of his name is actually in the dictionary, so if you think it looks like Wooby, ask yourself this question. When you say Wookiee in Star Wars, you don't say Wookiee, right? You say Wookiee. Or if you want a cookie, you get a cookie, not a kookie. So Whoopi is his name, and he is my pride and joy. My husband and I love him so much. I thoroughly look forward to coming home to let him out and spend a little bit of time with him. And a lot of times we'll just hang out at the house and just decompress a little bit. And then I will walk him a little bit later in the day, depending on the heat. You know, I don't want to walk him when it's super hot. I live in Missouri, so it can get pretty nasty in the summertime, and when school is starting again, it's like the worst. So a lot of times I'll get some chores done around the house. We like to keep our house relatively clean, and that means like every day there's something to do, whether unloading the dishwasher, running a load of laundry, cleaning, vacuuming, wiping down the bathroom, something like that. I try to give myself at least one chore a day so that I'm keeping up with everything, so that when the weekend comes, I can rest and relax and I'm not worried about cleaning a super dirty house. We just always try to keep it clean that way. Later in the night, sometimes I will do a Peloton walk if I maybe didn't get my workout in before. So I'll do a walk. Either I'll be talking on the phone to my husband who's at work, or my dad or my mom, one of the two. I'll be messaging them. I talk to them every day, and that's just a good time for me to kind of decompress but still be moving and be on the phone if I'm going to be talking to any of those people that are so important in my life. And I do run a full-time business. Really, I'm teaching full-time, but my business takes up the other good chunk of my time. And so I have things I have to do after school, and that can be really tiring for a lot of teachers. Sometimes it's tutoring kids. Sometimes it is figuring out what's the next to-do list item in my Asana board, which is where my task management system is kept. So what I usually do if it's a non-tutoring day, I will go and check Asana and I'll get one business task done. I like to pick something that is moving the needle forward in my business. That's why I have it all planned out in Asana. And I'm usually checking in with my virtual assistant. This is a good time for her to send me messages and check in and see what's going on, what she might need from me, and vice versa. And so I like to pick the one thing that I know I can accomplish to get done. I don't like to say I'm going to work on something because then I feel like I'm not getting something done. So if I have an hour, I'll pick something that's an hour-long task or less. This system has been tried and true for me. I've been able to grow my business over the past 5 years without wanting to pull my hair out, staying in the classroom, managing it all. And that's why I wanted to make this vlog for you today so you could see kind of the behind the scenes of what my actual evening looks like. I do talk a lot on stories, so you get to see that, but it's all here on one place on this YouTube video. After I get my task done, I really try to shut down my office for the night, just like I do in my classroom, and just walk away from it. That's why I like to have that feeling of, okay, I got that done. I don't need to think about it anymore. And in my morning routine, you saw that I check it again in the morning and I pick one thing that I can accomplish before I go to school. It really sets me up for the day. And likewise, it finishes my day in such a nice way. I have that a sense of accomplishment. I've taken care of all of my responsibilities at home with my own family and with taking care of Whoopi. And so just getting that one thing done on my business to-do list is such a good feeling. After that, I like to take a nightly shower and get ready for bed. And I read during the school year. I'm really big on that because it helps my mind unwind. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time falling asleep if I'm like things are just running through my brain, but reading really helps with that. When I first started teaching, I struggled a ton with turning my brain off, but I think shutting down school at the end of the day and knowing like school is done, you can move on to the other parts of your life that are super important and not have any guilt associated with it really helped me in the long run because now I sleep so much better and I really do prioritize a good night's sleep. I go to bed pretty early. Sometimes I'm in bed at 7:45. I like to be asleep no later than 9 o'clock at the latest because, again, in my morning routine video, if you haven't watched that one, I talked about how I get up between 4 and 4:30, sometimes 4:45. I get up really early because I have an early start time and I'm a morning person. I like to have that time. I will fall asleep the first person on a Friday night, like 8 o'clock on the couch. I am that tired teacher. So don't count on me to stay up late, but you can count on me to get up early. I hope you enjoyed spending the evening with me after school and seeing what it's like for me as a full-time teacher who also runs a business. I'd love to know what your evening routine looks like down below. And remember, if you're wanting to start a teacher business, but you have no idea what direction you want to go in, maybe it's tutoring, maybe it's Teachers Pay Teachers. I have tons of resources here on YouTube for you, and you can always go with the free 4-day challenge for TPT. I'll leave that in the description box below. Maybe you want to have more passive income, or maybe tutoring is the way to go, and I will leave in the description box a 10-step guide absolutely free to get you started. Thanks so much for being a part of my journey as a teacherpreneur and watching this vlog, and I'll see you next week.